What if I told you that in just 10 seconds, using nothing but your tongue, you could activate key nerves connected to your brain and support your body in ways that may help lower stroke risk after 60? It sounds surprising, but this tiny daily habit comes from longevity practices used in Japan, and today, I'm going to show you exactly how it works and why such a small action can make a big difference over time. The idea behind the 10-second tongue press is surprisingly grounded in basic anatomy and neurology, because the tongue is not just a muscle for speaking or tasting, but one of the most densely innervated structures in the body, directly connected to cranial nerves that communicate constantly with the brainstem. When you press the tongue firmly against the roof of the mouth, you gently stimulate these neural pathways, sending signals that help maintain coordination between the mouth, throat, and breathing patterns. This matters more than most people realize because, as we age, the responsiveness of these pathways can gradually decline, just like any other part of the body that isn't regularly engaged. The small act of pressing and holding the tongue activates the suprahyoid muscles under the chin, which play a key role in swallowing mechanics and airway stability, and this activation helps preserve muscle tone and timing. Over time, maintaining that neuromuscular responsiveness supports safer swallowing, clearer speech articulation, and better awareness of oral posture, all of which are subtle but meaningful indicators of neurological health. There's also a circulatory component involved, because gentle muscle engagement in the oral and throat region encourages localized blood flow, which helps deliver oxygen and nutrients to tissues that are essential for protective reflexes. When these reflexes stay sharp, the body is better equipped to manage the complex coordination required for breathing and swallowing, especially during sleep or while eating. Many older adults experience reduced tongue strength without realizing it, which can contribute to mouth breathing, snoring, or inefficient swallowing patterns. And these changes can indirectly influence oxygen levels and overall comfort. By contrast, a brief daily activation keeps these muscles online, reinforcing the brain's map of how they should function. Another subtle benefit is proprioception, the sense of where parts of your body are positioned, because placing the tongue against the palate increases awareness of alignment in the jaw and neck, which can promote more relaxed breathing through the nose. What makes this practice particularly powerful is not intensity, but repetition, since the nervous system thrives on frequent, low-effort stimulation that reminds it to maintain pathways rather than letting them fade through disuse. In the same way that a short daily walk can help preserve mobility, a short daily tongue activation can help preserve oral and neurological coordination. It's a reminder that health maintenance doesn't always require strenuous effort. Sometimes it's about keeping communication lines within the body active and responsive through small, intentional movements repeated consistently throughout daily life, reinforcing the connection between simple actions and long-term functional resilience as the body continues to adapt and respond to how it is used each day through tiny signals that accumulate quietly over time. Supporting tongue and throat muscle strength plays a much larger role in healthy aging than most people realize, because these muscles are deeply involved in the complex coordination required for swallowing, airway protection, and even subtle aspects of breathing rhythm. As we grow older, muscle fibers naturally lose some elasticity and power, and this includes the muscles responsible for moving food safely from the mouth to the esophagus. When the tongue maintains good strength and control, it can generate the pressure needed to guide food efficiently, reducing the chance of residue in the throat and supporting a smoother, more coordinated swallow. This efficiency is not just about comfort while eating. It directly relates to how well the body protects the airway, since a timely and strong swallow reflex helps prevent material from entering the lungs. Over time, consistent, gentle exercises that engage these muscles can help preserve their responsiveness, much like light resistance training maintains strength in the arms and legs. Neuromuscular coordination is another critical factor because swallowing is not a single movement, but a rapid sequence involving the tongue, soft palate, throat, and larynx working in perfect timing. The nervous system relies on repeated activation to keep these sequences precise, and without regular stimulation, signaling can become slightly delayed or less efficient. By keeping the tongue active and engaged, you reinforce the neural circuits that synchronize these actions, which supports not only swallowing safety, but also clarity of speech and overall oral control. This coordination is closely linked to brain health, since the cranial nerves involved are connected to areas responsible for autonomic regulation, meaning small daily activations can help keep those communication pathways robust. Improved coordination also contributes to better saliva management, which keeps the mouth comfortable and aids digestion from the very first stage. There is also a broader vascular perspective to consider, because the muscles of the mouth and throat are supplied by a network of small blood vessels that respond to activity just like muscles elsewhere in the body. Gentle activation encourages circulation in these tissues, supporting oxygen delivery and helping maintain tissue integrity. While this alone does not prevent vascular disease, it contributes to the overall environment that supports healthy function, especially when combined with other positive habits like staying active and well hydrated. Maintaining muscle tone in this region also influences posture, since a stable tongue position can reduce unnecessary tension in the jaw and neck, indirectly supporting smoother breathing patterns and more efficient airflow. All of these factors come together to create a foundation of resilience, where the body is better prepared to handle everyday tasks like eating, speaking, and breathing with ease, reinforcing the idea that small, targeted movements can support larger systems by keeping muscles responsive, neural timing sharp, and functional capacity preserved in a way that promotes confidence and comfort throughout daily life, while subtly strengthening the interconnected systems that rely on precise coordination and gentle muscular engagement to operate smooth coordination. And it operates, the body continues adapting to an activation that the demands placed upon it through consistent low effort activation and reinforces strong and independence and continuous keep and bird valve and maintaining one of the most powerful ideas in long-term health is that the body responds far more to what we do consistently than to what we do occasionally, and this is exactly why small, simple habits can have such a meaningful impact over time. When people think about improving their health, they often imagine dramatic changes, intense workouts, strict routines, or complicated programs, but the reality is that the nervous system and muscles adapt best to frequent, low-effort signals that reinforce function day after day. A short exercise that takes only a few seconds may seem insignificant in isolation, yet when repeated daily it becomes a steady reminder to the body to maintain strength, coordination, and awareness. This is the principle behind the idea that consistency builds resilience, because the body interprets repeated activation as a sign that those pathways are important and should be preserved. Over months and years, these tiny repetitions accumulate, shaping how efficiently muscles respond and how smoothly the nervous system coordinates movement. Just as brushing your teeth prevents problems through small daily actions rather than occasional effort, brief health practices reinforce maintenance rather than repair, keeping systems engaged before decline begins. The beauty of a quick routine is that it lowers the barrier to participation. When something feels easy and manageable, it becomes far more likely to stick, and adherence is what ultimately determines whether a habit produces benefits. This psychological aspect is just as important as the physical one, because a routine that feels achievable encourages confidence and a sense of control, reinforcing the identity of someone who actively cares for their well-being. When this quick tongue exercise is paired with other healthy behaviors like regular walking, balanced nutrition, adequate sleep, and proper medical care, it becomes part of a layered approach where each habit supports the others. No single action works in isolation. Instead, they create a network of supportive influences that collectively enhance resilience. Consistency also helps maintain neural plasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and reorganize, because repeated movements keep communication pathways active, reminding the body how to perform essential functions smoothly. Over time, this reduces the likelihood of functional decline, simply because the systems remain engaged rather than underused. Another advantage of small daily habits is that they fit seamlessly into existing routines, which makes them sustainable even during busy or low-energy days. You don't need special equipment, a specific environment, or a large time commitment. So the habit becomes flexible and adaptable to real life, rather than something that competes with it. This flexibility increases the chance that the practice continues for years, and longevity of a habit is where the real benefits emerge. The cumulative effect of consistent micro actions gradually supports physical function, mental reassurance, and a proactive mindset, reinforcing the understanding that long-term well-being is shaped less by occasional bursts of effort and more by the quiet reliability of small actions repeated day after day through steady commitment. It keeps the body in the confidence that routines that health is something we influence through simple choices that fit naturally into everyday life as part of self-care that grows stronger over time with repetition. Repetition or patience. One of the reasons this technique resonates with so many people is its simplicity, because it removes many of the barriers that often prevent individuals from adopting new health habits. There's no need for equipment, special clothing, or a particular environment, which means it can be practiced almost anywhere, whether someone is sitting in a chair, resting in bed, or taking a quiet moment during the day. This accessibility makes it especially suitable for older adults, including those who may have limited mobility or energy, since it doesn't require physical exertion or balance. When a habit is easy to perform and doesn't feel intimidating, it's far more likely to become part of a daily routine. And routine is where meaningful long-term benefits begin to take shape. The technique's gentle nature also allows people to approach it without fear of overexertion, focusing instead on awareness and controlled movement, which can foster a sense of comfort and confidence. At the same time, it's important to understand that while simple habits can support overall well-being, they are not substitutes for professional medical care or evidence-based treatments. Stroke risk, for example, is influenced by a range of factors such as blood pressure, heart rhythm, cholesterol levels, blood sugar control, and lifestyle behaviors, all of which require proper monitoring and, when necessary, medical management. This tongue exercise fits best as a complementary practice, something that works alongside prescribed treatments and healthy lifestyle choices rather than replacing them. Viewing it as part of a broader strategy helps set realistic expectations and ensures that individuals continue to prioritize regular checkups, medication adherence, and other preventive measures that have strong clinical support. Another advantage of framing the technique as a complement rather than a cure is that it encourages a balanced mindset toward health, where people feel empowered to take small daily actions while still respecting the importance of professional guidance. This balance reduces the risk of over-reliance on any single method and promotes a more comprehensive approach to well-being, where each positive habit contributes to a supportive environment for the body. The simplicity of the movement also makes it easy to share with family members or caregivers, creating opportunities for collective participation and gentle encouragement, which can strengthen motivation and consistency. When people feel supported and informed, they are more likely to maintain habits that nurture their health over the long term, because the exercise is brief and adaptable. It can be integrated into existing routines without disrupting daily life, reinforcing the idea that preventive care doesn't always require major changes but can grow from small, intentional actions practiced regularly. Over time, this approach helps individuals feel more engaged in their own health journey, combining the reassurance of medical oversight with the empowerment of personal habits, creating a partnership between professional care and self-care that supports stability, confidence, and a proactive attitude toward aging, while recognizing that true prevention is built on multiple layers of support working together consistently to maintain function and well-being in a way that respects both scientific guidance and the value of simple daily practices that fit naturally into everyday life. Preventive health often sounds like a big concept, something that requires major lifestyle overhauls or strict routines, but in reality, it's usually built from small, repeatable actions that quietly support the body day after day. These micro practices act like gentle reminders to the body's systems to stay active, coordinated, and responsive, reinforcing the idea that maintaining health is not a one-time effort, but an ongoing process shaped by daily choices. When a person adopts a simple habit, such as a short tongue exercise, it becomes more than just a physical movement. It represents a shift toward proactive care, where attention is placed on supporting function before problems arise. This mindset is powerful because it transforms health from something reactive, addressing issues only after they appear, into something intentional and forward looking. Over time, these small actions accumulate, much like drops of water gradually filling a container, creating a foundation of resilience that supports independence and confidence. Each time the habit is practiced, it reinforces neural pathways associated with coordination and awareness, subtly strengthening the connection between intention and physical response. This repetition doesn't just maintain muscle engagement, it also nurtures a sense of capability, reminding individuals that they have an active role in shaping how they feel and function as they age. That sense of agency can influence motivation in other areas, encouraging people to stay active, eat mindfully, and remain engaged with their overall well being. Another important aspect of micro practices is that they reduce the intimidation factor often associated with health changes. When a habit takes only a few seconds, it feels approachable and manageable, making it easier to sustain even on busy or low energy days. Consistency then becomes the driving force behind progress, because the body responds best to regular signals rather than sporadic effort. This steady reinforcement helps preserve functional capacity, supporting everyday activities such as speaking clearly, swallowing comfortably, and maintaining awareness of posture and breathing. As these functions remain reliable, they contribute to a greater sense of ease in daily life, which in turn supports emotional well-being and reduces anxiety about aging. The practice also encourages mindfulness, since pausing briefly to perform a simple movement creates a moment of awareness that connects the mind and body. These moments can serve as small anchors throughout the day, promoting calmness and reinforcing the habit of paying attention to physical sensations. Over months and years, this awareness fosters a deeper understanding of one's own body, making it easier to notice changes early and respond appropriately, whether through lifestyle adjustments or seeking professional advice. In this way, micro practices become part of a broader culture of self-care, where prevention is woven naturally into everyday routines, rather than treated as a separate task. Ultimately, the value of these small habits lies not only in the physical stimulation they provide, but also in the mindset they cultivate, encouraging people to view health as a dynamic process shaped by consistent, manageable choices that support strength, coordination, and confidence, while reinforcing the belief that even the smallest actions can contribute to maintaining independence and quality of life over time through steady engagement with simple practices that align with the body's natural ability to adapt and respond to regular, gentle activation as part of a sustainable approach to lifelong well-being.